'64 Chevys are only destined for a life low and slow? Not if this guy has anything to do with it. Thanks to Need a Car, meet Steve Adams and his home-built Biscayne muscle car.
I've always been a fan of cars from sort of day one. So the bug for cars has always been there. I've never had the opportunity to purchase an American car and have it sitting in the garage and all that money sitting in the garage. Most of the time, I'd spend the money on a car because I needed it for work. And then all of a sudden the opportunity arose. And then from that day on, I don't ever want to not have old school American car. I drive American cars all day, every day. I'd rather not have a modern car, to be totally honest with you.
Steve got a budget together to purchase his first American car, and the top of his list? A road-ready mid-60s Nova or Chevelle. Shapes he'd soon discover were out of his price range for a good one, so the net was cast wider and longer and far from finished.
We all know about Impalas and that sort of thing, but the Biscayne was kind of something you don't see. It was two-door post instead of pillarless, so it had all these little quirky things, and I thought, yeah, okay, this could be quite different, and I could make it something a bit different. So once I got through the initial shock of Karen and the wife going, oh my God, what have you done? We chucked it in the garage, and then I just laid a plan. First thing was, let's get some wheels.
Those 20-inch staggered fit Riddlers would set the stage for the car's black and charcoal theme, but that also signaled Steve's intent to move away from the traditional treatment of a '64 Chev and into muscle car territory.
I wanted it to be an angry car, and I wanted it to sound angry. It's sort of taken the '64 from that lowrider scene and the cruising scene, and it's just shown people, I suppose, and myself, that there's no reason why you can't have a big old angry '64. It doesn't have to be a cruiser. It's understated, but it's kind of aggressive and angry, slightly louder than a bit normal, and the fact that you're changing gears and things like that. That idea to me is cool in a car.
Chev's bare-bones base model, the Biscayne, would prove the ideal blank canvas for that treatment too. It leaves the factory devoid of much of the Impala's bright work to begin with, but, like Steve, the previous owner's ethos was to push that look further still.
A lot of the chrome had been taken off, all the side trim and stuff had been taken off, the holes had been filled up and then just prime it over. So the idea to put all the chrome back on was never, ever really a plan. It was always going to have a touch of chrome, but just not too much. I didn't like the stuff down the sides and all around the back and the boot. I kind of looked at the Biscayne being the base model. The Impala is like the one that has all the chrome on it, and I kind of wanted to keep it like that too. So yeah, just keep it quite plain and straightforward.
The '64's all-business approach continues when you lift the hood. Steve lunched a couple of boxes behind the original 327, a weak link rectified with a Tremec TKO 600 5-speed. But then that old slippery slope of needing a bit more power took hold. Unfortunately for Steve, his first purchase, a 500 horsepower 383 stroke out of the US, turned out to be more fraud than fast.
So that sort of put me back a little bit, that 15 grand would have been a hell of a lot towards a real big kick-ass type of motor, which is what I was sort of hoping to get. But as it turned out, the motor that's currently in it at the moment was in Auckland, and it was at STA Parts. They obviously bought it in, Edelbrock crate motor. And my mate said to me, oh mate, what about this? 500 horsepower, blown, rah, rah, rah. Well, as soon as I looked at it, I was like, yeah, let's just get that. The fact that it was black was just even better,
The 350 cube small block Chev is force-fed by an Edelbrock E-Force supercharger, topped with dual 600 CFM carbs. That Tremec TKO 600 is on shifting duties, serving ponies to the Curry 9-inch diff, while Wilwood brakes were tasked with bringing the brutish Chev to a stop. The '64 makes for a very drivable package with plenty of power on tap when Steve's right foot gets heavy. But perhaps the most impressive component? The guy behind the wheel who's built his first American car in his home garage. A Chevrolet Biscayne built to drive.
I understand people build show quality cars, but I always wanted to build a car because I love driving. And I feel that if you're going to spend time and effort putting a car together, then there's no point at just going to the odd show or in your garage and then popping out once or twice. And I think the whole culture in New Zealand is there's a lot of people that, okay, they can't have that type of car, but they appreciate what's gone into it, and they they get a thrill out of just seeing the cars on the road and that sort of thing. So that's half the reason as well why I just want it to be out there. I want people to be able to see it, people to be able to get an idea, and if they want to copy anything I've done or they get ideas from what I've done, then great. I feel like I've helped someone out, you know.